Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video, this is the second video of how to make a snake game on Scratch. And if you're watching this video and you haven't watched the first part of this video, I recommend you pause this video right now, watch that first video, and then come back to this video, and then you will be up to date. But before I start the video, I just want to say thank you for the subscriber count, because we hit over 30 subscribers. That may not seem like a lot now. Wait, no, that may not seem like a lot, but it really helps, and thank you for it. So now let's get started. First, make a new sprite. Name this sprite Snake, or you can name the sprite Player. I'm just gonna name it Snake. I'll zoom in right here, and then I will actually no. First, I will say when sprite click. We'll go over here. We say when sprite clicked, broadcast game start, and then after you broadcast game start, you say hide. This is why we needed a show block, and then we'll go over here. You say when I receive game start, hide. Now let's go back to the Scratch thing, the snake, and I'll make a red snake. So I'm going to, actually no, I'm gonna keep the outline because I think it might look good. And now to make the snake, this is going to be the head of the snake. So name the costume head, and make sure the eyes are facing this way. So they should look like this. That's what the eyes should look like. It's a little small. So now we can duplicate this. Name this one body. This is going to be the body of the snake. So then we'll just delete the eyes, and we have it now. Now we can say, oh yeah, and don't forget, go to the backdrop and say, when green flag clicked, switch backdrop to backdrop 1. We can duplicate this backdrop. Don't duplicate the backdrop. Just make a new backdrop, and then when I receive game start, click to backdrop 2. So now game should reset. Then we have this. Now with the design, we can go when green flag clicked, when I receive game start, hide, show, and now we can get into the actual code. So first we can do go to 0, 0, and this is going to be the center of the screen. So we're going to get into the variables. So first we'll delete the my variable because we don't need it, and then we'll make a variable and call it points, and then we can say set points to 0. So now let's go into the actual code. So we can say, actually no, let's put this in the actually no, let's put this right here, and now we can start with the code. So we can say show switch costume to head, and then we can say, and then we can make a new variable. We'll call this one clone length, and clone length is going to be a very important variable, and we can say set clone length to 0.1, and we'll get into clone length in a second. So now we can put a forever loop, and this is what we're going to be how the player moves freely, and how it can move around the screen, and it's probably the most important part of the code. So now set it up like this, and we can say no, not touching, if key. So I want this to be a game, so this game will be for people who either like to use WASD, or people who like to use the arrow keys. I prefer WASD. Some people would say no, some people would say yes. I don't really care who likes WASD or not. I'm just going to do WASD for the rest of this video, but I'm making this so I can use down arrow or WASD, the arrow keys or the WASD. So now we can say D for right arrow and A for left arrow. Now I can get into the code part. So we are gonna make a third variable. Call this variable the direction, and then we could say set direction to set direction. So if it goes up, set direction to 90, so 90 degrees. And then if it goes down, set direction to negative 90 degrees. And then you say, and then if it goes to go to D, it would go to 180 degrees. And then if it were to be direction, 0 degrees. And then we have this line of code done, and we can now go on to the other lines of code. Now, first of all, for the other lines of code, we can just put a piece of code right here. It is when I receive game start, forever point in direction variable direction. So now we could say go on to the other line of code, and then we can say when I receive game start, forever equals, so if equals direction, duplicate this 4 times, say now we can use the code we did here. So what we can do is we can do, for this one, we can do 90, negative 90, 180, and 0. So what I did with the code? Yes, I did. So now, if it's 90 degrees, change X by 5. This is what, the speed of the character. I'd say 5 because that's pretty slow. But if you want to really make this hard, you can do it 10 or 20. That's just too hard for me, so I'll just do 5 for now. And if it's, change Y by 5. And then we can say, change Y by negative 5. And then if direction equals 0, change X by 5. And if it's 180, change it by negative 5. And if it's 180, change it to 5. Now we have the basic moves of the player. Yeah, but so far the code doesn't exactly work because we have to do clones now. So for the clones, all we have to do is saying when I so we put a since we put a forever loop here, we can say create clone of myself, and then we can say when I start as a clone, switch costume to body, weight, clone length, which is 0.1, clone length seconds, delete this clone. So now if we start the game, you see we have the trail, and so far the directions are working fine. So since it's 90, direction 90, we can say we cannot turn into a different direction because we say point in direction. So I figured it out. I don't know what the problem was. So at least I hope you it still works for you. I use the same exact code that I used, and I'm using the code. Everything works. The arrow keys, WASD, it all works. I just don't know what the problem was, but it just started working. By the way, and so since we've made the clicker, not clicker, the snake game, the snake player itself, in the next episode, I will be teaching you how to make food and how to randomize the food, so it would be a different type of food every time, and it would go into a different place every time you collect the food. And that's going to be all for me, and I hope you liked the video. Goodbye.